guys, and welcome to another edition of Showbiz Insider. I'm Zoe, and today the show comes from Cavalli, Dubai. Now, as always, we're going to bring you up to date with all of the latest entertainment stories and events happening in the UAE. And March was the month of culture and society. From Dubai World Cup to the Athlan Hot 100 to my favourite Art Dubai, it was certainly a jam-packed social calendar. First up, the landmark 10th edition of Art Dubai showcased outstanding galleries and cutting-edge ideas at the Global Arts Forum. Central to Dubai art season and the leading art fair in the Middle East, the 10th edition showcased 94 galleries from 40 countries. That's 500 exhibiting artists and a progressive cultural vision.
Well, Art Dubai is the leading fair for the Middle East, South Asia and now increasingly parts of Africa. We're the largest showcase of Arab artists to take place anywhere in the world. And over the last 10 years, well, the fair has grown from showing 40 galleries in 2007 to showing 94 now from 40 different countries. I think in the first year we had around 8,000 people visit. Last year 25,000, and this year it seems to be, even more popular for local audiences as well as our international arts professionals coming in.
Captivating contemporary works, modern masters, video, performance art, and the dynamic Global Arts Forum with future-forward international participants.
The art fair has, in a way, grown by showcasing, being like the heart of the Middle East region and South Asia. And it's a place where everybody meets and gathers, and where you can, during these 10 years, we have been able of bringing and showcasing the evolution of the region in terms of professionalizing contemporary art.
Now, there's so many galleries involved, and it's grown again this year. Where are we seeing more galleries from different countries? Where are the artists coming from? Where are the galleries coming from this time?
Galleries are coming from all over. They're coming from MENASA region. They're coming from Saudi. They're coming from Bahrain. They're coming from Oman. They're coming from Pakistan. They're coming from India, the United States, France, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Nigeria. all over the world.
Highlighting the dynamic growth of the UAE art scene, there were 13 galleries from Dubai, led by I Am Gallery, exploring shout and silence through abstract sculpture.
So the sculptures behind me are about the dialogue of the deaf. There are two people shouting at each other. If you can see, the funnel grows to become one big shout.
It's like a megaphone when you look at it.
It's
so
like
that's
a megaphone, if you want, with some legs to say, okay, I'm shouting, and the other says, no, I'm shouting, and they just fight on who's shouting. And at the end, there are no winners. It's just a conflict without winners.
Is it a political statement on war or anything like that?
It's very much on what's happening in the region, not necessarily on war, but it's like that, And if you go inside, you get trapped inside. I worked on both sides, so you have here silence. So there's shout and silence, because also I feel with what's happening with the refugees and everything, there are millions that are just going silent. It's just silent. They don't know what to do.
And people who don't have a voice.
They don't have a voice, and that's a pity. So trying to show this contrast and to talk about this is very important in this time.
Dubai's One by One gallery debuted 6 contemporary Indian artists who use installation as an experimental medium to explore individual subjectivity and light.
I've been working with light for so many years now, and I think also I come from a place or a land where electricity is very, very essential. Half of the village in India, they don't have it, and you get to see in this dark landscape a little light there, and it becomes so important, primordially important light. So you work with a huge gamut of conceptions and bring it to a tight little concise whole. And if you have this, the moment you have light, there has to be darkness, there has to be shadow. So you play with light and shade.
New lights and new countries represented in the gallery halls include the emerging markets of Georgia, Ghana, Palestine, Sri Lanka and Baku.
Basically, the Bakuvian art scene is booming. Everyone knows that. We have quite a lot of venues. We have Zaha Hadid's beautiful building, Haydar Aliyev Center. They bring big shows, big names like Wim Delbois, Tony Craig. We have Yarat Contemporary Art Space, which is focused on international artists and local artists. And to this fair, we brought 4 Azeri artists, and one artist is from Kazakhstan. Her name is Alma Gül.
So just to introduce us to some of the work here, we've got this incredible painting. Tell me a little bit about the artistic process that's gone into this one.
This is painting by Aida Mahmoudova, one of our leading artists. She works by hand, and she sculptures the paint out of the canvas. So she's trying to expand the borders of like traditional painting and make it so-called, I don't like this word, but 3-dimensional, but basically very like, you know...
Tactile.
Tactile, that's exactly the word.
And from new markets to new statistics, this year 45% of participating artists are female. Meet Julie Tremblay, whose suspended sculptures explore boundaries in space and the interconnectivity of nature.
Well, it's a sculpture that's made out of aluminum mesh, and I like the material because it allows this transparency that you see, and as opposed to in traditional sculpture where the space is limited to the outside of the sculpture, the space here is continued inside. Art making is such a process that, you know, you start sometimes not knowing why, you start working on something and that leads you to something else, and that leads you to something else, that you just like keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and it becomes part of you.
Artistic process and vocabulary, it's really about the dialogues they provoke and the questions they ask.
And you're going to see that the vocabulary of the artists that are, or the media and techniques that they're using goes from painting to installation to video. And you're going to see that it's not what many people that's coming to Dubai for the first time thinks that the region is about.
So what links is there, I mean, there's not one particular theme obviously, but is there anything that you say links all the galleries involved?
Well, I think contemporary vocabulary, because I mean at the end artists are dealing with similar issues in terms of migration, in terms of displacement, in terms of gender, in terms of diaspora. So there are certain issues that are common to everybody in these days.
Art Dubai Projects is the program curated by Yasmina Regard. Project Plot documents Donald Trump's image after his controversial remarks on immigration.
The piece began a few months ago when Donald Trump, you may or may not have heard about him, said that he would like to ban Muslims from entering the United States. And at that moment, this developer, Damak, who collaborates with Trump in Dubai, decided to take down Trump's name from the Damak Trump banner. And so I was interested in that moment, the moment of the removal of his name from the banner.
And from politics to the business of art. Last year, Art Week 2015 brought in $35 million to Dubai, and that figure is set to increase.
When you have the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President, the Prime Minister of the UAE and the ruler of Dubai, God protect him, you can be sure, any event will be taking leaps each year. And a decade of Art Dubai shows, in terms of the number, the last year's sales reaching 35 million US dollars with 15,000 visitors. That says it all,
And the Global Arts Forum was a fascinating program exploring the ways artists, writers, historians and thought leaders imagine and shape the future.
Does the future still feel like it could happen? Are you still looking forward to it, or does it scare you? Because a lot of things seem to be going wrong with the world. Will they be made right in the future? Maybe it feels like you're already in the future. Your driverless car is taking you to a laboratory where a scientist can edit your genes like it's a Word document so that your descendants will be free from hereditary diseases. Still, there's always the other option, that the future is in the past.
Existential ideas, postcards from the future, and graffiti artist El Cid hitting the streets of Cairo.
Actually, the idea started almost a year ago. Wahid, who worked with me, told me about this place, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and he said, let's think of doing something there. And last summer, we finally decided to go and visit, and the idea, we went there with so much wrong idea about the places, about the place called, people know it as Zabbalin, but the real name is they call themselves Arrive. So starting from today, I think since we started the project, I stopped calling this place Zabbalin. Zabbalin in Arabic means the people of the garbage, and they don't call themselves this way.
Further focusing on artistic discovery, each year the programme Marker highlights a particular geography. This year it featured contemporary artists from the Philippines.
So we wanted to bring over the contemporary art scene of the Philippines and showcase it here in Dubai to show another facet of what's happening in Manila. There's an incredibly vibrant artist scene in Manila in particular, with artists running their own spaces, everything from graffiti artists, urban artists, film, video, fine art. And so we really wanted to show that diversity and give a little bit of space in the fair to this incredibly energetic and dynamic art scene that exists there.
And don't miss another integral part of Art Dubai season with Sikka. Sat amongst the wind towers of Al Fahidi, there's a kaleidoscope of musical performances, workshops, live painting, exhibitions and Cinema Akil screenings.
I guess the one thing that links everybody is a love of culture and an interest in ideas and a sort of desire to and a willingness to interact with audiences.
Over the past decade, Art Dubai has evolved dramatically as a cultural, creative and commercial hub, truly linking culture through art. Now, they would have had to redefine time at the Global Arts Forum to try and squeeze all of Art Dubai into just 10 minutes of footage. But racing on, next up guys, it's Dubai World Cup.